What's up, Ragin Nation? This is Alex Yoon. You're watching the Ragin Ronin review. Last night, I went to the very first showing of The Hangover Part 2. When I watched the trailer for the first Hangover, I thought it was the most ridiculous thing ever. Like, in a bad way. I just felt they cannot make this work. This movie is not gonna make any sense at all. And then I watched it. I kept on reading my Facebook status updates, and it kept on saying that The Hangover is absolutely hilarious. So I gave it a chance. And then, wow, it is one of the few great R-rated comedies. There's not a whole lot of really good R-rated, like, just comedies. Like, there's R-rated action comedies, but like, for just a comedy, I think this one is right up there. And I don't think it's overrated. Some people say it's overrated, but you talk to anybody and they all say that it was an absolute riot. So then I saw the trailer for the second one and I felt, okay, I'm so there. A lot of people are saying the same thing. They can't wait to watch this one. And so I watched it last night. I was thinking, how are they gonna make this better? And when I read about the production, I heard that they were going to Thailand, and I felt this is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be better than the original. They're in a place where a lot of craziness happens. The story for this movie is an exact carbon copy of the original, except that it takes place in Thailand. It is absolutely the same. And that's what I think that Todd Phillips thinks is the successful formula for this franchise, to have them keep on having bachelor parties, but in the most exciting places. So first it was Las Vegas, next is Thailand. Who knows where the third one is going to be? So that formula has been established for the Hangover franchise. Now, you're thinking, well, that should be funny, right? Wrong. The first one worked because it was such a fresh and original idea. It was something that was totally unexpected and nobody knew what they were going into. People just thought that this is a ridiculous trailer, but I'm really interested in seeing how they make this work out. And it works out in the end, and it's a very satisfying ending. In this one, it's more or less predictable just because the formula about having these guys go on a bachelor party in a different country, figuring out these puzzles, it feels very predictable because we know it'll work out all in the end. It's just a matter of getting all the clues together. In the first one, I felt there were more physical clues, like they found a key, or they found a bracelet, or they find a book, or they find, you know, something like that. They're objects that lead them to where they need to go next, with the addition of over-the-top characters. In the second one, they're just meeting more characters, and that's where the comedy comes from. Let's talk about the characters in this movie. Honestly speaking, the only two characters that really stand out are Zach Galifianakis, or Galifianakis, I don't even know which one it is, and Ken Jeong. Their characters are so over-the-top that it starts to become unfunny because it almost feels like the humor is forced and the lines are not as witty as the ones in the first one. In the first one, Ken Jeong was funny because his character is just so absolutely ridiculous. In the second one, it's even more ridiculous, but you just feel that they're really just going a little bit overboard. And as an Asian person, I couldn't figure out what accent he was trying to imitate. It was like a mix of Korean and Japanese and Chinese. I couldn't figure it out, and what that really means is that the directors didn't really care and he was just some ridiculous over-the-top Asian character that had an obviously fake accent. Now, as for Zach Galifianakis, his lines were not as good as the one in the first one. He just keeps on throwing them out, but it doesn't always work. As for Ed Helms, he's still the same guy. Justin Bartha, he still doesn't belong in the adventures just because, well, in the first one he wasn't in it, so they might as well leave him out as well. And then for Phil, played by Bradley Cooper, at the beginning he's kind of the leader type, but his persona just kind of dies away, and you just don't care as much for him as a leader anymore after that. So I think the characters are just kind of getting a little bit stale because they were so awesome in the first one, but they didn't make it better in the second one. Now let's talk about the humor. The thing about the movie is that you'd have really funny parts, like absolutely crazy burst out laughing parts, and then somewhere in the middle the humor just kind of dies down. I'm not saying that it dies down completely, but the jokes aren't as funny as a series of jokes that they heard earlier and some of the other physical comedy that they have later on. Like, there's just this middle part where you just kind of laugh a little bit, but it's not something that you would burst out laughing about. And another thing is that, just like the first one, this movie is about shock value. And that's in the sight gags, you know, the visual comedy. They really, really raised the bar in this one. And I'm surprised and also trying to figure out how they didn't get an NC-17 rating for this movie. Just because they really go overboard with this one. But that's the thing about this movie, and that is that they just keep on using more and more sight gags. So in the end, all I gotta say is that this movie is really funny. Not as good as the original. It's an exact duplicate of the first one. But then again, what do you expect? This movie will make a lot of money. I won't be surprised if it made more than the first one. Check it out on a matinee if there's a cheap movie night. I don't think it was worth full price, but if you're with a night out with the guys and you want some good laughs, go right ahead. I'm not going to discourage you from that. Oh, and before I go, I have another video that you might want to check out. I'm going to have a link to it in the description box and at the end. And it's a video talking about my movie-going experience at The Hangover. Something interesting and exciting happened to me last night. Why don't you check it out in this next video. This is Alex Yu, and thanks for watching the Ragin Ronin review. Peace. That couple was actually seated very close to the original guy that talked to me. So then he turns around, he said to me, "Hey, why don't you quit being such a f***ing ass and give those two a seat?"